to my Nik The Booksmith challenge. It grew into something absolutely enormous, and I did plan for it only to be a very small one signature wraparound journal, but it got out of hand. I've made it so big, it's so stuffed, that I think I might take a signature out, make another cover and make it into two journals, because I really have got enough stuff collected up here for two journals. Talk about hoard. Okay, you may have seen my first video on making the cover, and I haven't added a lot to the cover since that original plan, except for the little Suffolk puff with the pearls at the top. I think that's all that I've added to the cover, and maybe this ribbon just to tie it up, so that wraps around and ties at the front. Now, I did talk about how I came to decide what I was going to make this challenge out of. If I were a journal, what would I be? I started with the colour blue and white, so it has grown from there. The other themes to the story are probably medieval women and women who have done probably brave things or are known for doing something spectacular in their lives. So I've added a few of my heroines throughout. And the other theme was my name, which is Penelope or Penny, and the origins of that name come from Homer's Odyssey. If you don't know, that's one of my favourite books to read, is Homer's Odyssey. And Penelope was the wife who stayed at home for 10 years and wove fabric, and she used to weave every night and then unravel it, because she didn't want any of the suitors lined up to move in on her while she was waiting for her husband to come back home to her. So she kept weaving. So I've added a lot of weaving to this book because I thought that is the root of my namesake, and I do love weaving, and I really do love this book too, because it has these gorgeous deckled edges on the page and the paper's beautiful. So perhaps this is actually my Odyssey because it's huge and it's stuffed to the brim. Now, I wasn't personally named after the heroine of this book. My dad actually happened to be a fan of the Thunderbirds when I was a child. Now, this does go back a long way, so the younger ones may not have even heard of the Thunderbirds, because they were in about 1965, which is a couple of years before I was born. Dad used to really like Lady Penelope, who drove this beautiful pink car called the Fab One, and that is my namesake. So that is where I got my name from, chosen by my dad. So there you go. That's something interesting. I don't know, Nick, you've somehow managed to get us to tell all with with these books when we don't like to tell anything. Here we are revealing stuff about us that we probably wouldn't normally. So let's delve into this enormous Odyssey we have here. I might leave that book there just to prop it up because it's so huge. The first page is, as I was talking about the weaving, I have a woven piece of fabric here, which I cut up strips of some of my fabrics that I had in the blues, and a favourite shirt that I had, a blouse that was embroidered, and I have woven this page out of that, and on that I've added some of my favourite things, like this little trinket of a cat down here, because I'm definitely a cat person. This gorgeous brooch that has the pearls on it, because I love pretty things. I love pearls and cute little the flower diamantes on there, so that really appeals to me. The symbol of the scissors plays a large part in my life, because I started life out as a hairdresser, or my working life anyway, and so I have always had scissors around, so from hairdressing to sewing and embroidery and all those little things that you need scissors for. So that's a token there. Over here I've put one of my 52 tags handmade challenge blue and white tags, which was the one we made for a brooch, because I thought she blended in very well with the scenery. And here I've got a favourite piece of fabric, which is the one that I chose for my bedroom curtains because I love this blue embroidery. Underneath I used this lovely piece of blue fabric with the white leaves on, and this beautiful cameo. I've always had a thing for cameos and collected those since I was a child. I used to have a gorgeous little blue and white one. I've probably still got it somewhere. It hasn't turned up in time for this, but it will, I'm sure. So, okay, going over here, I've got this lovely lace trimmed handkerchief in the pale blue, which has been all crocheted around the edges here. I think that's crocheting or tatting, I'm not really sure. It's very delicate anyway. And a gorgeous red rose at the top, because I really do love red roses. Symbol of love, of course. And a lovely Tim Holtz pin there, just holding them on. Then over to this side we have, I really do hope you can see okay there, maybe if I tilt it a little bit, it's so huge. So here we've got the Singer sewing machine, which I have one of those and love playing with. It's very old-fashioned, but I really have a love for old-fashioned things, as you've probably gathered. And there are the scissors again. And here is a picture of my Singer sewing machine with my cat Ollie sitting on top, because that's what he likes to do. Perch himself up on there on top of my basket. And I have this lovely blue and white paper in the background. So on this page we've got one of my favourite stamps, which is the Makey stamps. They make beautiful little stamps. So I've got a collection of those throughout. And this gorgeous angel, and it says soul on there, because I'm a bit of an angel person. And that flips out, and there's a P for Penny underneath, and that's from Susan Taylor Brown's gorgeous alphabet set. I really loved her designs of her letters there. So inside this little envelope I've got a paint chip with a lovely white embossed piece on it, a leaf. And I just love the names of the colours there, Alpha Centauri, Quantum Blue and Grey Flannel. Lovely colours, and you can actually write on the back. I put some tea-dyed paper or coffee-dyed paper on the back. I love this white background paper here, which is very pretty. Here we've got like a toil paper print with the blue and white scene on it, which I adore, and I've got some crocheted lace trim on there. And a flower fairy. My favourite flower fairies, of course, are the blue ones. So I love her. And these lovely women, I just adore these beautiful romantic old pictures of ladies with flowers and things, beautiful pearls. I really adore those. And a little gift from Liz that says cat person. She got that right. So I've put some little fabric tabs on the side, which are the Liberty of London fabrics that I love, very soft and delicate. And I've got a machine embroidered bird here in blue and white, because I love the bluebirds, and that's a calico pocket. In there I have a card which was a gift from my father-in-law, who is no longer with us, and I really kept that because I loved the colour and the cat. And plus it was from him, so it's kind of sentimental. Here I have Rapunzel with her long plait, and as a child I always had these really long plaits, so of course at Book Week what did I get to do but be Rapunzel. We used to love Book Week, and I think we went as a few things, my sister and I, Rapunzel and Snow White, and Fred Flintstone and Pebbles and Bam Bam. So there is a picture of me. That's probably the only picture you'll get to see because I don't like having my photo in things at all. But that was me as a little girl with my pet lamb. She was called Lambsietta, and she used to have little bantams that rode around on her back all day, so that was something she didn't seem to mind about because we played with them too at the farm. A lovely little tag here that has a French word on it, and I did study French at school, but I cannot remember most of it now, except for the odd word, with a piece of crocheted lace and a lovely little rose. So it says, I think I chose this one because it says, to be able, power and authority. Pouvoir. So, power to the women, power to the people. There is nothing like staying at home for real comfort. Now, I am a stay-at-home person, so I really enjoy that, but there's probably a lot of people that are really quite stressed about having to stay at home, seeing as we've had the year or two of having to stay home because of COVID. But it hasn't bothered me in the least because I'm busy. We have this lovely little fold-out window that you have something inside of, so you undo the, sorry, I'm little thumbs here trying to open this, but the windows open out and you have a picture on the inside, and that one is an embroidery of a fox, and I put foxes in all my work, not only because I love the foxes, but because a part of my work was doing the Tasmanian Fox Review work. For those of you who don't know, we don't actually have foxes in Tasmania, but we spent quite a bit of money on chasing foxes for quite a few years. So that's part of my work, so you'll always see foxes pop up somewhere in my work. Here we have an archer because that's my birth sign, and a bowerbird because I collect blue things, and so do bowerbirds, so I have a bowerbird there. And one of my favourite cartoonists is the Far Side cartoons, and this one says, just stay in the cab, Fern, maybe that's a bear hurt and maybe he ain't. And the lovely cartoons that I really like from Larson. I think he's got a great sense of humour, but not everyone understands him, unfortunately, but I find him amusing. A little heart tucked in. Now that's a piece of trim off a blouse that I've recycled, and I thought that looked very romantic and soft and beautiful, and that's sort of my nature too. I like the whole romantic theme, the beautiful softness, the lovely white horses on the beach. I live near the beach, so that resonates with me, and I love velvet, so I've got bits of beautiful pink velvet, truly madly deeply. Here I've got another piece of that lovely fabric, which is the Liberty of London fabric with the roses, and some tapestries. I love tapestries. So this section here is a flip out, and these are a lovely kit from Mrs. Cogg's Crafts. Liz has a lovely sewing kit, and these beautiful pictures came from her kit. And I've got the flip out. Now I can't for the life of me remember where I got these gorgeous ladies from, so if anybody actually does remember who they are, please tell me because I've forgotten. I have some lovely piano paper there that I've used for a pocket with a pink rose, and these are my absolute favourite of Mrs. Cogg's beautiful ladies. She has a few series. She's got the Ladies of Antiquity and Ladies of the Time of the Day and the Seasons and all sorts of things. I really like these ones because there's a lot of blue in them and they're very feminine. So they're some of my favourites, and I've stitched around those and put little tabs on the top. So they can go in that little pocket, which is a double pocket. It has two spots to poke things in, but mind you, this is stuffed enough, so I don't need to poke anything else in there. We've got the lovely rose here with hearts, and this gorgeous postcard is something very special that one of my girlfriends sent me from Japan when she was living, well, she's still there now. And I just really, she said it looks like you, so I think she's probably right. It does, it does resonate with me in many ways. For some reason I've held on to that for years and years, so it's obviously something that I feel close to. This is another one of my 52 tags of the year challenge. So this is one of my tags from the 52 tags challenge that I really liked. So I've popped that in there because it says empower, and I really like that. Women need to be empowered sometimes. And this one says petals, another one of Liz's beautiful ladies from the Antiquity. And Petal happened to be one of my nicknames, my writing nicknames that I use, so that sort of had some connection. And I love doing this sort of soft collage with beautiful antique writing. I just love that cursive writing, it's gorgeous. And a little bit of piano paper there. Over here we've got Florence Nightingale, and I really do admire her for her work as an English social reformer, statistician and founder of modern nursing. So most people know the Florence Nightingale story. Special person. Here I've got some lovely blue trim with the letter P on it, and another one of those gorgeous ladies. She's beautiful. And I've got some handmade paper on the back that I made myself, which is sort of a purpley colour with bits of rose petals through it. Another one of the stamps over here, the Makey stamps, and that one is a cat. I hope that's okay that you can see that. Have I pull it out a bit? You might be able to see it better. And we've got a lace snippet on here. So that's one of my lace snippets that I have made with the rose on it. So I'll take that off because it's removable. So that's just layered up of laces and a beautiful ribbon rose. So I might leave that there. I've got some tulips on the bottom of that page. Here's another one of my tags that I made for the tag challenge, and that one says kindness. I have another one of these lovely ladies of Liz's, and she's got a little blue bag around her. Now this lady is called the Sapphires, and I've just got some broderie and glace on the top of that, and she pops in that lovely little lace pocket at the bottom. This has a sapphire in it, so it's containing a small sapphire necklace. So that's why that's there, because she is the sapphires. This is called Sydney Lavender, and that's from my garden, and I just made a little pocket there with Dream on it. And we have my favourite book here is Wuthering Heights, Cathy and Heathcliff, and that's Merle Oberon and Laurence Olivier. Another little piece of broderie and glace. And here is The Lady with the Lamp, so that's Florence Nightingale again, a beautiful painting, another one that I admire. And Fairy Queen. I absolutely adore myths and legends and all of that stuff. Beautiful fairy tales, all the old-fashioned ones are some of my favourites. Then in this beautiful paper bag pocket we have this lovely painting of a lady in white. She's gorgeous too, so I love her. Put that down there as well. We're getting quite a collection. Here's another fox stamp from Makey Stamps, and a little fox trinket on the Liberty print there. I do love the foxes, so they end up everywhere. That's one of my little puppy dogs, Jackie. I had a couple of little Jack Russells in my time, so she's one of them, no longer with us now. I love berries, so I've got some gorgeous berries. I love this beautiful tape, which was gifted to me from a lovely friend. And here I have a little ode to Kathleen. You probably all know Kathleen. She's one of our beautiful ladies in the crafting world, and she does these gorgeous little flip pages with a little bit of collage on, and I really like the way she uses her doilies and her collage together. And I've got an old docket there which relates to me in the way that where I grew up, it's from the Lackland Park Hospital, and that's the town that I grew up in, so it does mean something to me. And this dear little girl with the puppy, of course I have to be around animals and have animals around, so there she is with the little Jack Russell, and I think that's just gorgeous. On the wax thread I have threaded one of Sheila's beautiful boho Daydreams beads, which I just adore. She's got the most gorgeous beads, and a lovely little crystal bead. And the crystals mean a lot to me too, because where my ancestors come from is an area where they make the crystals, and Czechoslovakia is where they come from, so that means something to me too. A lovely flower sticker and some beautiful ribbon down the side trim. Here's another one of my lovely tags. This is the gold tag that I made. You may have seen that on my other video where I went through all my tags. And it has a little watering can because I loved gardening, so I'm always out there with my watering can because we live near the sea and it's very dry, so we have to water everything. And this is another piece of Boho Daydreams gorgeous trim from Sheila. She has the loveliest trim packages. They're just divine, so that was pretty, and I thought that went well with the berry page. Another fox over here. And here we have some of my relatives. So this very old photograph is from my mum's side of the family, and I don't know exactly who they are because there's no one alive to tell me who they are anymore, and we never ever found out. So I'd love to know who exactly which great-grandmother they are, how far back. And this letter is from, it's got Kent on it, Canterbury, Kent, and Kent is where my father's family came from, so they came out to Tasmania from Kent, Dartford, so that's why I put that in there. But it's a lovely Jibid Neary envelope which I adore, and I was tempted to go along and stitch over these beautiful stitching that's there, to give it a bit of 3-dimension. I may still do that when I have time, but her little envelopes are beautiful. So I've got that tucked in there. I love Jibid's work. She does some beautiful work. This is embossed piano paper. So it's very delicate, as you can well imagine, and very thin, but it just picks up the pattern so well. And I've put that on the paper bag. Here's another one of my relatives from the past. I have no idea who she is, which one, but I know she belongs, so handed down through the generations. It's a shame they never wrote on them who they were. So I've got a lovely little pocket here with a pretty lady on that one with some pink sari silk and the word perseverance. And another of the flower fairies, another blue one and a blue tuck, a lovely alpine fox and the cute little fox on the top there. Here we come to Nancy Wake. Now she was a nurse and journalist who joined the French Resistance, and I think if I was around in her day I probably would have joined the French Resistance too, because that would be right up my alley. And I've also done journalism in my time. I studied for journalism, so I have done a lot of writing in the past, although I'd hate to be a journalist right now because there's so many restrictions on what you can and can't say, and that would not suit me at all. So that's a lovely picture of Nancy there. And they used to call her the White Mouse, so that's why I've got a white mouse on the corner. And I've got a little mouse on here as well. Dear little mouse, he's cute. Hanging off the tab there. That is one of my cats, Lucinda. Lucinda Violet Baudelaire is her full name. So she likes to join me crafting. As you can see, she's right in the midst of it there. I have lots of cats, so they're always somewhere, inside or out. So this is another tapestry in here, and this one is the rabbit. So we've got the fox and the rabbit. Not sure whether that's easy to see or not, but so that's a beautiful tapestry there. So that just tucks in that little pocket, which is roses and lace. Beautiful velvet across there, so it's velvet and laces, full of those things. Here's a lovely little chicken bookmark. I like to collect bookmarks, and a friend made that one for me, so that's a nice little one that I've kept. Although I do lots of watercolours in other people's books, I collect watercolours for my own books from friends and people that I know. This is wombat poo paper. So it's actually made from wombat poo, and that was another gift from a friend. Here's a lovely lady. Again, I wish I could remember who those ladies came from, but I can't. And a dear little puppy, and a nice paper bag there. Lovely music paper with a gorgeous chandelier. I love chandeliers because we had one as a child, so it reminds me of my childhood. I'd love to have another one, but my house isn't really big enough, high enough ceilings for that. This is a gorgeous piece of antique lace here, like cotton, linen, crocheted lace. It's beautiful there. And a little piece of trim, and this is the gorgeous Sleeping Beauty in blue, one of our Book Week ladies. Really enjoyed doing that when I was a kid. Got a little pocket here, and that's probably the only picture that you'll get to see of me. It's so tiny you can barely see it, but it's has a little, I'll bring it up a bit closer in case you might be able to see. It's very small, but there's a little dictionary piece there that says penny, and explains what a penny is. Australian coin worth 1/12 of a shilling, and penniless means you are very poor. And I have a pocket here with some of Tracy's lovely little ladies in from Love Junk Journals. They're beautiful. So I just put a couple of tags. I've got some Australian birds here. That's a kookaburra. And we have a little blue wren. So we've got a kookaburra and a wren there, which we have in Tasmania, both of those birds. And they can be seen in my garden occasionally. This is another one of Liz's lovely sewing kit pictures, and I just adore the dog. I've got this sweet little dog there. That would be me if I was doing that. I'd have the dog there. And flipping to the inside, I better come this way because it's a bit long. We have another of the sewing pages that I've made into a pocket. I've got that sweet little girl card on the inside there with her roses and her birds and all the cute little things around her. So I'll leave that there. And then we have this lovely tattered lace piece coming down here. I think the light might be making that hard to see there. Perhaps we've got some shadow coming in, I think. I'm not sure whether it's better off with more light or less light here. What makes it better, that, or is that too much light now? I'm not sure. So that is my dog Sinbad over here. Yeah, he's out there wagging his tail because he heard me mention his name. That's that beautiful white paper again. And over here we have a linen page because I really love linen. So a lot of the clothes that I wear are made from linen. And these are two blouses that I actually cut up. One's pink and one's white. Of some linen fabric that I liked. And I stitched a little daisy on there and a pile of little French knots. And just some little rosebuds on the top of there, and I'm not sure how well you can see that in this light. Is it shining badly? I have some white broderie and glace along the bottom of the blue page, and then I've added a collection of little blue and white crockery. So you've got a plate, a cup and a teapot, and they were a gift from Liz as well. And I collect blue crockery, so I don't know how she knew to do that, but that that worked out so well because I have a cupboard full of blue and white crockery. Here's a little pocket I made from a music page, and it's just a little flip pocket, and another one of my favourite bookmarks I have collected in there. It says, always read something that will make you look good if you die in the middle of it.